Three, two, one. Are we going live? I believe it's starting up. Great. Hey, everybody. Good to see you. I am in San Diego today, a little different background. I'm in my daughter's apartment because we're heading actually to Mexico right after this. And I'm also going to Mexico in this interview because we are going to be interviewing, chatting with at least one coach, the head coach and owner, Raffa Apodaca, better known as Raffa for those of you who've met him because he has traveled around quite a bit and raced himself. But also we might get a chance hopefully to add something I haven't done before with three of us online with one of their assistant coaches who also is a paddler and a youth who lives down there. Maybe even a couple. We'll see how it goes, but I'm excited to give this a try and have multiple people on. So Rafa's just a great guy if you haven't met him, wonderful individual and kind of the newer coach. This is one of the longest running youth programs, and I think stand-up paddling youth racing is such a great thing to focus on and something we need to grow. So originally founded by friends of mine, Shelby and Bicho. I had the pleasure of knowing them individually first, and then being at their wedding in Sayulita, Mexico, where Sayulita Junior Team is based. I believe Rafa was originally from Guadalajara. I know he's lived in Canada also, but I'm going to right now see if I can find him and have him join, and let's start talking about, there he is right there. I love that next to his name, his Instagram, both the flag of Mexico and the world, a globe, because he's probably traveled a lot. I actually don't know his whole story, but definitely have had the opportunity to race with him as well as meet him, and excited that he is leading the team. Fun. Let's see. Okay. I think he's there somewhere. Joining us. Hopefully the whole Wi-Fi internet thing is always such an interesting challenge when you go to a new place. Thanks everybody who's joining us. If you do have a question, I see Kenny and people that I know. Ozzy, hello, is with us. Let me see let's invite him again. Raffa Apodaca, send request. There we go. Hopefully he'll connect this time. Unable to join. Shoot. I hate it when that happens. So, Raffa, if you can check, I think you're online, so you're probably hearing this. There are a couple things that can get in the way. And sometimes if you disconnect from Wi-Fi, just use your phone. Depends how you're trying to get online. Make sure you are following. Hi, you're there. So he's there. Just go live. Your request. Go live. Thank you, Alex, who we're going to be talking to in a bit. Yes, Alex, actually, if we can't. Oh, there he is. Alex, we'll get you later.
Yeah.
Yay! It worked. Yeah. It's so funny, we count on technology working, and once in a while we have these.
Yes, I understand.
Well, I'm trying to take some deep breaths because I got in traffic getting here and almost thought I was going to have to start this in the car. But,
Wow.
But it's amazing, isn't it, that we can talk to each other from different countries. So if you didn't hear the introduction, I'm so lucky that I have met you before and I have raced with you before. But I have not talked to you since you have taken over as the owner, CEO, and the head coach of the Sayulita Junior SUP team. And I want to talk a little bit, of course, about you, but I know both of us want to talk about the team and the youth, and it's just so important. And there aren't that many programs, at least that I know of. In fact, if you're out there and you have a youth program, we'd love to start getting you guys connected in different parts of the world who have, kids under 18 who are paddling. But let's start with you, Raffa. What's your water story? I know you're from Mexico originally. You've lived other places. I think you've traveled quite a bit. You started pretty early, 2012, but did you surf or enjoy the water in some way earlier in life before you SUP?
Yes, no, totally. I'm from Guadalajara. And so what has happened when I was 16 years old, I go to try surfing here in Sayulita. So that was my first connection. I am 44 now, so it's a long time ago to start to be in the water dimension, what to say.
Yeah, so you did, and that's so interesting that you tried it in Sayulita, and that's where you live now. So
Yes, totally.
you
Yes.
found that town. How far away is Guadalajara? It's not
It's like a 4 hours and a half
4 hours? Yeah,
driving.
okay. Yeah,
So be sure, if you take a flight, it's 1 hour flight to Puerto
yeah,
Vallarta and 40 minutes to Vallarta to Sayulita.
yeah. Well, for the size of Sayulita, it has produced a lot of amazing paddlers, both adults and kids.
Yes,
So Fernando Stala, at least when we met, I know he's lived other places also and has parents from different countries, but met him there, and some great SUP surfers. Was it Fernando who first introduced you to the sport? I know you've known him for a while.
I know him for a while, obviously for a different ages, but yes, in one way he was who gave me the last push because I'm in the SUP war in 2011, 2012, but I was more the technical support to the national selections on that time. And supposed to be I was, in that time it was it was very new, all this.
Yes.
So supposed to be was one of the extra paddlers, but I never was too active that until 2018.
Yeah. Did you actually go with them to some competitions as their alternative or
No, yet I know
alternate?
was
Yeah.
no. Because it was there, and the recursos Mexico is very stretched, and so we don't have all the support, and we not can
Yeah.
do it. And
Yeah.
I was traveling, and so it was the connection and
Right.
so many.
Support for athletes is such a challenge in a lot of places. And yeah, but I think you guys have done a really good job, though, of reaching out. And we'll definitely want to talk about that because I know a lot of different board companies, and Shelby and Beecher are always good at, if they're bringing kids somewhere, how can they borrow boards? Who can they work with? So, but it takes a lot of effort. It's not easy to be an athlete, especially in a new young sport like SUP. But so fun to be in it early. So when did you first paddle rather than just surf?
My first paddle, real one, I can say 2016. So I take before. In 2012, it was try a little bit, but that was not so seriously, honestly. In 2016, it was when I back from Canada and start to do more health and fitness for myself.
Yeah.
And I say, my best friends is like Shelby, Bishop, Fernandez Stala, Ryan Helms. Everybody was, Rafael, what you doing? Come on.
Go.
Change.
So you moved back from Canada and started racing yourself. Yeah.
Yes, it was on myself. I take on myself until it was 2018. It was Stala in charge to the race, the estatal race in Sayulita.
Yes.
So honestly, it was like you see,
this shirt is from the race in Sayulita. I did it in 2015.
It was when it was every year the race, right?
Yes, the fifth. It says it's the fifth annual, but that's the only one that I made it to. But I feel very lucky that I got there because what an amazing production it was.
Yes,
they had good sponsors down there with the real estate people, and we stayed in amazing places. Really was a great. We had concerts on the beach, and it was quite a big weekend. So I'm sorry that ended. Having it every year. But maybe someday we'll get that back because that was wonderful. So where your first race was somewhere in Mexico, but I know that you have been up here, maybe Pacific Paddle Games. Was that the first time you came up to the U.S.?
Yes, the first time to the U.S. it was from that same institute. Fernando started saying, come on, do the states. And so I was qualifying the state like on the third place. Say, you need to do nationals. So we're like, dude, this 2 months. I don't have that training. Say, no, you do it. So I was doing that race and I finished on the 5th position and he said, we need to do the PPG. I was like, no. But the truth, the sport catch me. We are very good connections friends. He said, I need you with me. Come and this experience. And this is it, I was in the PPG 2018 doing my first international race.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. And I think I paddled with you at Hano Hano, probably one of the last races before the pandemic, and earlier than that, Santa Monica, you came up here
Yeah.
for, and then some of the series. So that's fantastic. So you have your racer background, and I'm sure even if you weren't really involved with the kids, I don't know how much, but everyone saw that program because Sayulita is not that big,
Yeah.
especially the main beach in town. And so it's just a wonderful thing to see them. And I'm sorry that we can't share pictures right now because you sent lots of great pictures. It's
Yeah.
amazing that they have that ocean time, that they are so comfortable going in and out of waves because many of us start in, we practice in flat water most of the time, but it's really essential to stand up paddleboarding to have those legs to be able to handle all kinds of different conditions. And nothing more important probably than, or nothing makes you better than it, than working probably in and out of the waves. So how did you first get involved? I know, so just Shelby and Bicho have had children over the last few years. I know they've
Yes.
moved back and forth between the U.S. and Sayulita, each one of them, their home countries.
Yeah.
So right now, I believe they live in Kentucky. So it sounds like they decided that's where they would be. Did they approach you, or did you approach them about taking over the team?
It was like we are so small, and so everybody knows who's everybody. So
Yeah.
after the PPG, I was more involved, and so big to say, "Come on, you want to training with us? I need something a help because everybody started to do different lives. People grow, and so start to different activities."
Hmm.
So then it was my first contact with the team. So I was assisting him and helping him with the kids because the group is big one. It's a team
Yeah.
of many, so no, so many beginners. The problem is not the pro elite juniors, the beginners, so everywhere. So that was my first connections with them. It was precisely 2018. So 2019 it was more involved with the team, and obviously 2020 the situation was happening.
Yeah. So you were already coaching with them before you
Yes.
took up the team and knew the team well. Yeah. And that's when we get more into talking about the team, remind me that's such a huge challenge that even though it's a small age span, it's not like adult, it's not like 18 to 80,
Yes.
but they change so much. And having, I've watched Mike Izard, who has the paddle academy here near us, um, new kids coming in, and then he has these kids that he's brought up in the program that get so strong and so good, and there's a big difference. So it needs assistant coaching, but and it's such an interesting thing dealing with all those different levels, but so fun and so important to our sport continuing and being strong.
Yes.
So
Totally.
2018, you were an assistant coach and then worked with them a bit, and then of course, we've had a very strange amount of time. I
Yeah.
don't know. I know it's very different countries, and in our country, it's different state to state. We were never shut down on the water, but we had some interesting challenges. So we were, even though we had no competitions, we were able to paddle. Have you been able to paddle down there the whole
Yes,
time?
the local team, yes, because we are so small, and so we make a deal, and so they give us chance to all the kids continue the training, and it was good as well because it was helping. It's still closing the house 24/7, so it can be not good. So they
Yes.
give us that chance, and we close a little months, but after then, few of the team we start to back to training and continue the practice and still active with the kids. And so for that reason, we do so many online activities because can traveling, but we have all the ocean to be practicing.
Yeah. Do all your kids live, all your members of the team live right in Sayulita, or do they travel some from Puerto Vallarta or anywhere?
For now, all the members is from Sayulita town. It's
Hmm.
everybody who live in here or to come and they're moving for 6 months. Normally that's the
Yeah.
team getting involved. The people is very close, and so it's a community.
You do have a popular town for people from other places, Canada and America, who live there just part of the year, don't they? So do you have
Yeah.
some kids that come and go on your team?
Yes, totally. Honestly, we are kind of an international town because we have local teams, but we have many people, like you say, Canada, we have people from US, we have people from Europe as well. And so it's from everybody. That is the good about it's a many different kind of cultural experience in the team.
Yeah, which is neat. Really, I mean, it really is one of my favorite places. I'll be looking for you in November because I'm actually guiding a trip that I think is full now in November down to Sayulita because popular destination, such a lovely, lovely town. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
So
and more.
we're
Yep.
all hoping that things are opening up. I actually was talking to some of your a family and your team about the gorge because I saw them post that they had signed up for Hood River for the
Yes.
George Challenge, which isn't until August, but we all hope that it will be easy to cross borders and everything. Some, there are countries that are very much still shut and others, but I'm glad that you're able to train fully with the kids and everything. So tell us a little bit about what your team looks like. What are the ages and how do you break it up? How many kids are you working with right now, would you say?
So like right now we're over like 25 to 30 kids right now because the last month many people started traveling because they can do it. So right now we have that kind of people. And so the more younger is the name is his name is Alex. He's a little guy, but you see is very tough, this kid. And he's a more younger because we have a limit age to be kind of 9
Usually
years
9.
old.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a good general age because below is more hard and difficult because it's open ocean. But the only special case is him. And the more oldest right now is Havana. He's the more old member on the team from the first moment, and she's become 19 years old this year.
Yeah.
So this is one of the qualities of the team. Right now we try to make the change to academy because the last year we had people from the champions for Veracruz and the guys that 20s. We had body visit us, and so we try to open because we see, like as you say, it's not the same paddle in the flat water to open ocean to you don't know what is can happen. The next second it's totally different. So the people like that to come to practice in open ocean here with us.
Yeah.
So that's what
Yeah.
happens right now.
A very different thing. Yeah, I would guess you would occasionally have someone under 9, especially because you have lots of families with brothers and sisters, and maybe the little brother or sister has been watching and really wants to join or is spending a lot of time in the water. Yeah, with the families, but that makes sense. So 9 to 19. So like we talked about, just a huge spread. You said Havana has been doing really well and has potential to be a top all-around female athlete, not just a junior. So that's very exciting that and I've seen that locally. The programs that have kept going and these kids that got to start as kids and are now young adults, are really going to be our future in the sport. So hopefully we'll have a minute to get to meet her if she's on too. Yeah. So the Ostrowski family, I'm not sure if I'm saying their right name correctly. Yeah. So Christopher Ozzie, I've talked to online before, and he was saying that Alex, he has a daughter and son, Alex and Tracy, are on your team. So Alex is one of your older ones too, and she's now, I believe, one of the assistant coaches. So we're going to try something. Supposedly you can have 3 people at the same time. So we're going to try that in a couple minutes just to give you a heads up. I'm not sure I explained that to you, but we've never tried having more, and we'll see how that works. So that will be an experiment to see if we can invite her on and have her on. But when this team, besides just being there in Mexico, has traveled, the youth team has traveled before. So when you went and raced, I don't think you were an assistant coach yet. You were racing yourself, or were you also helping out the youth team when they all came up for the Pacific Paddle Games in Dana Point?
No, the Dana Point, I was on my own because I was Vision Shelby in charge of the team, and I was paddling on my own. And I was more traveling with Fernanda Stala. So we are more very independent traveling.
Yeah.
Be there, you give a hand, because we are part of the same family or the same community. So
that's wonderful how connected you guys are and part of the family. And I'll have to remember. I didn't know Fernanda Stala had played such a big part in your stand-up paddling. That's good to know. So in terms of, there's challenges to having kids and families. I used to be a teacher, so I know there's wonderful things about the family dynamic and the support, but it's challenging too, because it's not an individual. it's a whole family you're dealing with and parents. And we don't want to say anything too negative because I'm sure lots of parents are listening, but it can be challenging too to work with that. So, and there's other challenges with stand-up paddling. Again, a new sport, equipment. We haven't figured out for sure what size board a youth should be on and how to divide. Again, you've got little kids who then grow up to be young adults and are full adult size. And so what size board? So maybe let's start with equipment. You've had some interesting boards down there. I know Bronner has been a big help with the youth team through the years. And I don't know if you made your own boards, those beautiful ones that are in the picture that are green and blue. Did Shelby and Bicho get some boards made for your team?
I don't remember how the stories about the boards, but that board stayed for a long time in the team. When the team started, this board it was with the logos of the team, green with blue, and they are like 11.6 size over the where they are big. It's a good heavy board for training for the kids, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes. And Brown in that long time it was help us and support us as well. And we have a few Rivieras as well because it was a donation for Paddle Academy. So we are
very nice. Yeah.
Yes, and for right now we have all paddles, but the company Black Project support us and help us.
Oh, very nice. Thank you, Black Project.
Oh my God, we appreciate that a lot because I remember on my personal experience, it's very important the paddles and the size because when you use the wrong size, either you are a sporty, you can hurt yourself so bad. I have a sacro problem the last year for use the wrong size. I was doing well, but in the end it was like a smash. So we don't want the kids have the same problem so early. And sometimes shoulders, low back situations. So
I'm so glad you're paying attention to that. So the equipment size, paddle size, those things are really important. And really, again, you have a 10-year span where they're changing more than they'll ever change at any point in life in terms of their body size and dynamics and what they can do with their muscles. So has 11.6, I'm glad to hear you've had those boards. And yes, you talk about they're heavy, but it's also the fact that you had a set of team boards makes a big difference for entry because, again, you have a mix there and you have some affluence and some people can afford their own equipment and you have local kids who might not be able to afford the equipment. So I think that's super important that you have maybe something for those who would like to try but can't, but also, boards that you can practice on that aren't necessarily, if you really get serious, you want that lighter board or the certain side. I would guess Havana and Alex maybe are now on bigger, don't need to be on 11.6s anymore. They're on 12.6s or 14s like adults. So very, very interesting and a super important thing about having a youth program. So again, maybe some more about equipment or other tips. Like if someone was going to try to start a youth program, and again, yours program has been going for years, although you just for a few years have been a part of it, you've probably seen it. Any other suggestions for how to work with under 18s or under 19, under 20, how to work with youth, with stand-up paddling and having a team? Any suggestions or tips or things you need to know about?
I just suggestions. I think can be passions and make first to have fun. I say all the time to my kids, we come to have fun. That is the principle. We come to enjoy, and you make the kid enjoy and be happy while they do it, and then you can jump to the next step. Because can make a young kid make a training like an athlete to is on the top on the list, right? So you need to make that. And for me, is the more things to enjoy what they're doing and they be happy. And they take like a game, like a play. They can play this and not take like that formality situation because obviously they are kids, so they need to enjoy them, to feel comfortable in the water, and don't be scared with the waves, take like a game, like who was jumping. So that can be suggestion for kids or for the people who will start training with young people.
I agree. And we talk about that with adults, that fun should be first too, and we should enjoy it. But more important with kids, absolutely. Yeah. And just as a teacher, I appreciate that you get that. We try to do that. It's important in education too at all levels that that there's value in it, in the fun of it, so that they want to keep doing it, because we want them, we're hoping that these are young people who will gain this valuable, you know, skill and keep using it and keep enjoying the water. So that's fantastic. Any thoughts about kids and safety, or kids and working with parents? It sounds like you're such a strong community. You've kind of just brought them in, and the parents are definitely a strong part of it.
Yes, totally. Yes, normally all the parents stay there on the time we training. The parents is on the beach, enjoy it, and they are checking the kids as well, and everybody's helping community. So that is good because it's not classic only to leave the kids. You know, it's very involving community. Like an example, this next Saturday I have a competition from the team. So the parents is involving as well to the come and grab stuff and the kid and helping to everybody set it up. And it's beautiful because it's not only for one person job. You know, it's like everybody come and it's integrated the way they do it with the kids and the community. And as well, for that reason, few of the parents they start to paddling as well. I can see one example is Ozzy. So Ozzy can start paddling as well, and he do it so well too. And so it's beautiful. So kids and parents can paddling and enjoy it. That's
yeah, yeah. And that's great if you get some of the parents to do it too. I remember even way back in 2015 when I was there, they talked a couple of parents of kids to actually participating in the event, because some of them were doing it for the first time, which was really fun. Yeah. So you have this team. We're finally moving towards being out of this horrible pandemic that has really been a tragedy for many. But I don't know if one thing that we've seen that's good in a lot of places is people have found the water, have found outdoors. Have you found some new students through this quiet time where there's no competitions? Do you have more team members?
Yes, I have more team members. It's interesting. I start to open a new group with really, really beginners to never be involved with water or paddling or nothing involved. So that's interesting. We have a few new members. It's like right now, like 8 members, new ones after the pandemic. And so that is awesome because that is, I mean, it's a good for us.
Good for us. Good for them.
Yes.
In terms of starting with young kids, it is a community that's on the ocean, but I live in one too, and we were really surprised when my kids were in school. I was with a group that surveyed. We were surprised how many young people didn't know how to swim. It really is an interesting, I think, important, way beyond SUP, important thing that there isn't access, and sometimes working parents can't pay for swimming lessons, or we're not like puppy dogs that you can throw in and it's just automatic. There needs to be some teaching. Is there a strong program? Do you think families teach their kids to swim? And have you run into that at all, that there's kids really, you said, new to the water? Are they uncomfortable? Ocean is a whole nother level, but you need to have those basic swimming skills, you think?
Yes, I see, and I think the parents are doing that, and the team will do that because we do only part of it, teaching them how to breathe, how swimming, how float. Because if you get conditions happen, the kids fall down, the leaves fall down, and the flow system no works, they need to have the skills for minimum flow to someone go close and keep them and help them.
Yeah.
Or in such a situation like that. And the beautiful thing is that right now is here Fernandez Tala, and he will make it a program that Aquaman, I think, says, and the thing that he said is, Hemi was traveling and being in Tahiti, he said, dude, I make this program because we live in the water. So it's not possible to the people who don't know swimming. So you living here in the water, you need to enjoy the water, and you need to know how to can breathe and how to survive in heavy circumstances. If the currents catch you, if you are smash and you lose the ball, you're not feeling can you draw up. And so this is a beautiful right now. Stanley's here. We start to talking about to make integrated that better for keeping the kids and more to the town because it's an ocean town, and so they need to learn that. It's very important.
It is important. Yes. I have a friend up here, Morgan Hoistry, who I bet Fernando knows, who has, it's mostly little surfer kids that are taking her course in learning how to control your breath. And I think Nando is a free diver.
Yes.
And it's so important to be able to be comfortable with that, because so much is up here. It's about not panicking and knowing you can hold your breath and all of that. But we spend so much time on top of the water, as much as we love the water. Some people don't have water skills. And I think I'm with you and Fernando that that's very, very important.
Yeah. Just we work at that and not a lot.
Good to hear that that's coming. Well, I'm sure part of you having assistant coaches is all of the numbers that you have. So if it's okay with you, I would love one of your assistant coaches to join us next. And that's Alex. And she also, I think, was in the program from very early, because she's one of the older participants. Oh, it works.
Hello.
There she is. Hello.
Yeah, let me readjust myself.
So thank you both for being guinea pigs, because I've never done the 3 boxes before, but it looks like it works just fine. Just like adding you, Raffa, just found her and clicked the little button, and there you are. So thank you for doing this. I assume school just got out, or I don't know what's going on. It's a little later in the afternoon there. I know it's been a strange couple of years, or year and a half, hasn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. So Alex, just your experience a little bit, maybe first as just a member of the team, and when you kind of got started, and then now as a coach.
Well, I started in like 2016, and I remember we were at a friend's house and we saw them paddling from where we were, and we were like, oh, we should try that out sometime. And so we tried it out, and then here I am 5 years later, and I've just like I've traveled a lot, and I've been doing competitions. I started helping about 2 years ago, around there, just helping with boards and making sure people or kids got out of the water in the water safely. And then it wasn't until the switch of owners to Raffa that I became an official assistant coach.
Great. And he was talking about how you have new people coming in. Do you work with the top kids more, or the youngest kids, or newer kids, I should say?
I work with, I guess you could say, the minis, or the lesser advanced. I build them up. I teach them how to paddle. I work on their technique. I fine-tune everything so that when they advance, they are all ready and have the support to do so. Sometimes I work with the juniors, which are like the intermediate. I give corrections, or I kind of teach them, I guess, more advanced things. And then the elites are kind of on their own, which is what I'm a part of.
Very fun. So you're able to still work out and get your training in yourself for you.
Definitely.
And help out. Yeah. So
Yes.
Sayulita is an amazing place that you live. I know you're originally from Park City, right? Utah?
Yes.
But let's see, you've probably lived there most of your life. Do you remember the snow?
Actually, I moved here when I was 6 years old, and I'm 15 now. So I don't really remember the snow.
Maybe you visited it? Do you? Because I know you travel.
I have visited it, but only in the summer.
You're an ocean person. You're a water person. I just love that. That's fantastic.
Yep.
So you've had a chance to travel internationally, and that's a really special thing about your Sayulita SUP junior team is it's, having coaches that were traveling around and making connections. I think you've been up here to what, the PPG?
I've been to the PPG. I've been to the Carolina Cup.
Oh, wow.
And I've been to the Gorge.
Nice. And going again this year? Hope to see you there, right?
Yep.
I believe your family.
Actually, I think we're 100% going.
Yeah, I think you're signed up. They just opened registration. Yeah. And Raffa, we hope you can make it up there too. Yeah. So having, again, you've got a lot to balance, Raffa, with lots of kids, lots of different ages, family. And I'm just comparing it to, I'm in a training club of adults. So there's no parents, and there's different ways to work with adults, and we're on flat water. So I'm just so in awe of what you guys do there and how great the kids are. I mean, watching, I think that's a highlight of ocean races like the Pacific Paddle Games, which we're so sad it's gone, but hopefully we can at some point get it back, is watching how these young kids just like go for it and go in and out of waves, and how they're comfortable with different conditions. And you're set up for life to be able to do so many different things, which is just fantastic. Do you have a favorite? Carolina Cup's not exactly the same kind of racing. Do you have a favorite distance, Alex, yourself as a racer, or a favorite event you've been to or traveled to, or both?
My very first international competition was the 2017 PPG, and that was amazing. I loved it, but I think I have to say that the Gorge is my favorite.
That is a wonderful experience, isn't it? And isn't that so different? Yeah, downwinding is amazing.
It's extremely different. I've gone to 3 international races, and each one is something different.
Yes.
So I do have a wide range, but I definitely love the Gorge, and I can't wait to go back this summer.
Do you consider yourself more of a sprinter, or actually, I always feel like sprint downwinding has both, because you have to do some quick paddling to make maneuvers and get between waves like surfing. But the Viento run is 8 miles long, so it's not exactly a sprint.
My favorite is technical. I love turns and the fast short distances in between the buoys, even though I'm not the best at it. But I definitely, I guess the least favorite is long distance, just because I don't have amazing endurance. But the Carolina Cup was definitely amazing.
And did you do the long one? You did the graveyard, or did you do Money Island?
I did the graveyard.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, I did
jumping right in and doing the 13-miler.
I even did it on a 12.6 too.
Okay, very impressed. Very, very impressed. Well, that's fantastic. Well, that your family has been able to do that and to travel, and absolutely love the town you're in. And it's so great that you're both coaching. I'm sure it's wonderful to have role models like you guys involved. Somebody, I'm not sure who that is. I'm going to really do an experiment on you right now and see if Habana can join us too. I don't know if it allows 4. Have you guys ever seen 4 on the screen?
I've never even seen 3.
So we might have to do a little trading off. But this is so fun to get to know some of your different paddlers. So your younger brother, did he watch you and join, or did you both join at the same time? Trace is also a paddler, correct?
We both joined at the same time. I'm pretty sure we did.
Jumped in at the same time, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm not sure it works.
And ever since then, it's been like a sibling bond type thing.
Ah, that's very special. Love that. Great. So, Raffa, I know that both of yours thinking about the Hood River, and a lot of us are looking, that's one of the early races coming up. There is Carolina Cup, different time of year, but they're going to be in November. The APP has announced some races, although I'm not sure when they're starting. Again, a lot of waiting for certain countries like Canada are not allowed to travel yet. And so kind of changes that we're not sure about, but things are opening up. I mean, are you guys feeling optimistic as a team? Are there going to be some races in Mexico? Do you have any on the schedule?
Something else, I hope to do the Gorge River as well. But in the end of November is a race, more in the south of Mexico. If we wait, it happens and go to do it. But right now in Mexico, we don't have so many races. Yeah. Maybe the nationals is can be in October, but it's not yet. It's not to say precisely yes, when, and how. So
yeah,
in Mexico we not have so many races.
Yeah, I think Raffa, I know you because I was in them also. Participated in a number of virtual races where you did it on your own wherever you could, but I think a lot of us just wanted to be a part of something. It was interesting, very different. I learned a lot because I'm not as good at a time trial, especially if it's by myself, as I am as being in a race. So I like to think I'm not that competitive, but I think I am. And I like having other races around me. And I like the strategy of taking the best line and I realized some of my friends, when we did both, where we kind of went point to point, but we were trying to do a 5K, I think it was, that I was done with my 5K at a different time than they were, which is very interesting to think about in a regular race, that we all don't go the exact same distance. So Rafa, did you do a few of those virtual races?
Yes, I do a lot of that virtual racing, and I'm agree with you. I'm the same because you don't know. And so sometimes I was do it few times the same because supposed to be, I believe, was doing a record, and it was like, this too slow. And supposed to be I was doing my best, and so I make it again. And I miss, like you say, being a race with a lot of people because you know what is the clue if you go slow or no, or you can use the techniques or traffic
and right. And it doesn't really compare when you aren't using the same conditions, because you are in the ocean there for sure.
Yes.
We had options to be on flat water. I know the M to O, we did the 16 miler, and there was this one the family that were so fast, and I thought, what is going on? And they were on a river in Alaska, and which was amazing and good for them, but that's where they paddle, and it was downriver, and their times were just out of this world. The Weeks family, lovely couple. So if you're out there, more power to you. But it was one of those shocking things, like, wow, where those times come from.
I am agree with you because sometimes you say that they say, what? This is and this record? And you say, where? And you say, obviously, yes, I'm ocean. This is a river, and it's a fast river, and so you can see it's not comparison competitive because the conditions they are so different. So
yeah. Did you do any of that virtual racing, or is it just us older SUP junkie racer people?
I did some too, definitely.
It was fun to at least be able to kind of know that, you know, our community we love that are in different places, we're out there and you could see your name in the same place as them. Yeah. I'm sorry. What did you say, Alex? I interrupted?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, you're fine. I didn't do a lot of them, but the ones that I did were very wide range. So I did like 200 meter, and then I did the 50 sprint.
Oh yeah.
And then I would go all the way to 10K.
Yeah, that was fun. What was that called? APP put that on, right?
Fast track?
Fast track, exactly. That was an interesting one too, because we had fun with that in our training club, trying to, you know, figure out how to do it and where the best place to do it. But again, you guys train in the ocean, so I think you had probably a little disadvantage. I guess it depends. You have some flat days too, but sometimes conditions can be a help or a hindrance, both.
Definitely.
So yeah. So we were talking about equipment and how much it changes from when you started, or your brother started, and on, you know, probably 11.6s or maybe even smaller boards, or you can stand on, when you're small, you can stand on almost anything, to now the 12.6. Do you ride a 12.6 or a 14 now?
I actually started on an all around.
Like
the skinny wide ones, and I actually did my very first competition on one of those. But eventually I got used to the 11, the team boards. And right now, currently, I am riding a SIC 2019, 21 and a half, 14
Great.
foot.
Okay.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. And I wasn't able to get Haban on. I'm sorry. I would have loved to have, but I guess it doesn't do for, is she also, as one of the older girls, do you know, Rafa, what she rides? Is she on I think you said she's on a Bronner. I'm just curious at what age you guys go to. You know, more of the races have been on 14s. It used to be this whole discussion about, I don't know if you were around, Alex, for that, about females, whether they should be on a 12.6 or a 14. Kind of had both, but some of the main races are 14 and under now. And in some parts of our country in the US, that's the category they have, just because we were starting to have too many categories. So if you have to narrow it down, that's one way to say, okay, you can be on any board you want. Find the board that fits you best. And my coach, I know here, he loves 12.6s, and still sometimes if it's a race, for instance, a technical race in the waves, you might choose a 12.6 over a 14 because turns are easier on a 12.6, and it's easier for a lot of people to ride waves on a 12.6. But you'll find a race that has everything, like Carolina Cup, that starts in the ocean but goes to inland flat. those distance ones, you know, that extra glide of a 14 can make a huge difference. But that sounds like I've heard great things about that board, Alex. So I'm sure you're super fast on it. And
I love it.
Yeah, awesome. And SACs are great for Hood River. It seems.
Yep.
A lot of people want them up there.
I believe I am riding one at the gorge.
I know. Hard to find equipment and everything up there for all the number of people come in. Yes, I know, Raffa.
Yes, I know.
We were very
yes,
lucky.
I was one. Yes.
If anyone who's listening is in the Pacific Northwest and has extra equipment they want to rent, I've had many, many people already ask me, and we're still, months away from that. So there's a lot of people who would love to come in from a distance and be able to borrow good equipment for downwinding for that special race. Well, congratulations to the Sayulita SUP junior team. Is it club or team? What do you guys call yourselves? I can remember the last word.
It's not like
Both.
a team, but I told you I want to team, but I want to start teaching like academy, because the idea is to grow and not only have a limit age. You know, to everybody to want to enjoy it is welcome to come, because it was my learn. It's not to matter the age.
I love that. Well, your town has that welcoming feeling, and I think your team does too, that everyone's important and everyone's involved. And but it's so great that you have that you have been seeing new people coming into it. It's great that you have excellent athletes like your family, Alex, like you and Habana and others that have really excelled and have worked their way up and now can be top young women in the sport, not just top youth. So fantastic what you've done. Again, one of my goals in getting to talk to a lot of people, I want to start connecting you teams so that you kind of have a network of other teams and what are you doing and who's, you know, supporting. And I know at some point there should be, you know, even more juniors and youth recognition at national level and at international level. So we look forward to continuing to see all of that. Do either of you want to add anything about, I'm going to try one more time and see if I can find Havana, but I think I lost her. Oh, she disappeared. About Sayulita or your team or stand-up paddling in general?
Like, I don't know, say, everybody's welcome. And right now we need, and we like a support because we need to change fuse the boards and the crew is noisy the access here in Mexico is very hard. Yeah. So we need kind of like someone who wants to support us and help us. We are very open to receive that because find them and to move the boards here is kind of hard. So I would love to continue with this program because we are the only program we offer all the gear to the participants to come and practice and to involve in this sport, to grow in this sport and be athletes.
Yeah. And it wasn't easy to get there, I know, to have that gear, and it takes more funding and support. And I hope wherever you are, you'll think about, if you're in stand-up paddling, supporting the youth program, because that was, oh, sorry, Alex, she's on, but sorry we lost you, but thank you so much, Alex, for joining us. And yeah, she just wrote a little post. Can you see that? It's funny how the questions go like flying by. Got a whole bunch of fans out there. But it's so fun to get to talk to people all over the world. So thank you, Supconnect, for letting me do this every week. Thank you so much, Raffa Apodaca from Sayulita Junior SUP team. Great to talk to you. Hope to see you later this summer at a competition up here. And if Sayulita ever has races again, you guys, it's such an amazing place. You would want to go down there and be a part of that. Excited. Tell Fernando, thank you for pushing you along and encouraging you. And good luck with his program of really getting, you know, water safety is essential. And it is surprising. You know, there shouldn't be anybody who dies off of a stand-up paddleboard, but it does happen sometimes. So we need to do what we can to avoid that. And nothing like learning to swim and being comfortable in the water. And being able to be under the water as well as above. Super important. So thank you. And remember, this gets recorded. So right away, everyone, if your friend didn't get to see it, it's on Supconnect's Instagram, IGTV right away. And then we also put it on YouTube. So it will be on Supconnect's YouTube, and KT Outside is my YouTube. So people can find it later. Yeah. Raffa, great to see you always.
Great to see you too.
Love your energy, and thank you for all the, the fun, the joy, and the instruction, and what you're doing with the youth. It's fantastic. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
You too. Bye.